The NCCE reminds the public that political participation, association and voting are fundamental rights of every citizen, hence the need to exercise tolerance and civility throughout the period and refrain from the use of abusive language, hate speech, provocative actions, intimidation, thuggery and physical confrontation at all times, as these contravene the laws of the Gambia. The general public is encouraged to stay away from any altercation and follow due process to seek redress when the need arises to ensure peace and stability throughout the process. Our collective desire for accelerated socio-economic growth and development could only be achieved in an atmosphere of peace and tranquility.
National Council for Civic Education NCCE ebe jama hakili bland la kwadengi ke idabula politikoto waranto ka tra politika patio kono waranto ka carte fay omo Gambia banku dingu bela nyantoleti bari nabe kala fanan asekeni kuluo kono famajio anin Cairo banko fanna bekang andun semfan jamfandi kuma alla kajafirolu anin dendri kumolu kanyo silandi waranto fitino ate wato bela kantu walmu luwati nyalati Gambia banko kanja ibe jama be kalamtan la fanan ko nsakata nga jamfa nyoso sola andung ning momondi kolea sodo sakate silolu noma coming silol bankola loi tande nyami kaje ka fanan ka Cairo mumbe banko kan ay tara sabatin ate wato mumme be kantu yirwati nano hadama anin fankola karola ning atra Cairo anin tanku mantra sabatin banko kan.
Hello wonderful viewers, wonderful subscribers. This is Active TV again for another fast and a quick update. Mbadi ngulu mbalbe tentula mbalbe jaila mbalbe bismillah la kotake Active TV purkana kibaro bonda nan kote kamiyalan ko akabo Gambia banko kan andung abedendi. Gambia banko la president la ikafomu yako Adama Barrow ani UDP la nyaton ko ikafomu yako Honorable Lawyer Useno Numukunda Dabo. Mberi actionol bondla le jang miyalon ko modol diamuta adabe kono Ahmed Gitteh diamuta miyalon ko NPP la barama balemati lamin satu bojam fanan diamuta miyalon ko ay patiolo Gambia banko kan bari anata kafu President Adama Barrow anin coach pa Samba Jaw ata fanan diamuta miyalon ko atabe PDOIS le mbe nyin reactionol plela ani mo kotem altente kabla no Active TV kibarol ibe karnal kabo Gambia banko kan Senegal mbedu wala Gambia banko kan alma ale Cairo sabatindije mbedu wala nyinkarte fa kola ka beke Cairo de mbedu wala Gambia dingol alma ale Cairo di bela be dunia dawdande. This is all I have for you today. This is Active TV update.
Nga lua observe lua wolen sembentu yate natuma mbalanta nyofe lua tije ndata siloka aseke nga UDP nkol no bare na modol se fano kono because mo wuli keme fula ni carte fay o mo jamal Useno ha 200,000 votes omo so nintu mo wuli keme fula ni mo wuli keme na ni keleta mo wuli keme nan se gagner no le bari ila modol se fano dole baram ntolo mimbe finla ngata celebration la ngalon ko we are not celebrating against Usenu Dabo bari we are celebrating for the Republic of the Gambia. Adun signol nim badingol nin terol niminu be siri nita ku killing ni wolel betarra dulalto ngake domandoma nga lua bunya nga mol bunya nga celebration oke ani horomoni bunya la bayrin dolla president be wala kal yaajele kabiri e nyimbefo alnene amole adama nyim kumo diam anene man femfoje anene man complain ay hormone bunya le tandi from the beginning so nte mbem fawnde Ahmed Gitteh faw mbem faw folo yamarla mbina mbenna mol be yamarla barinditade manna alay sol tentu partiol minu kafdama mbe tentula APRC ko fa bakar tombo njata la nyaton kaya ko e papa Fall nyolu General Lamin Boja nyolu Henry Gomez nyolu kata Dr Amadou Konde nyolu anin dolum mawol tollong ila partiol be kontona mo be hormone bunya itandi atol journalisol fanan ale do ku kendol kanyim banko ka mbal tendula mbal jayla la do ku kendol afa I'll continue to be neutral. It's very difficult to be neutral and impartial. But I'll continue ka okay. Ngal tentu ngal jay bimben seo bunne. Barim fanande ale fonsage. Ikabe sirin no monument no shanto jana. Ale fonsage. Munabe sirin jana.
Ari imba dingola tolle ajenyola Mr. Bojang fanam felenti jang afanan keta moti muy yalon ko na interview conduct no wonto bi nata ko te ngatara jang so Mr. Bojang bin tol kala ne ngata kala ne tele kontan dala lebulo be mu lebula
mbe kontan rimbake alhamdulillah rabbil alamin auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim mbe kontan rimbake mbe kontan rim parce que na kontano do folo mbe nga ntara election la nga election win bare Gambia dingul doli bije mi ala kada wala kada petition solti ya fil ko election tara nyaming amanta ko anyata tala nyaming wala yatinda fana le constitutional right ko banko loi min dila yo exercise kaji ko no yeta loi bumbato pour que la balanda nyintandi bitu lola ning atako no mo fulole be nyola itara election le ye boy jeto imang song election ni result solina itara kiti buda ye boy wo fananto sela ngame ko be danta wolto wala nge boyle nge kuruntu so boy woni kurunto sa ya klata mo bella chaw ko Gambia bitu lola de ndam politician olti election ola registration watola na fo le ndalas interview registration ola watola yen tole invite le pour nga member sol ki pour eta registration ni witness kabri yen ki woran taral nga jere ko no registration ni tara nyame Gambia di momang election o ki jang momang carte fay jang mim man ka Gambia di woti ndole ngole conclude fulanjango kabri nga carte ni fay akada on the spot counting ngana mol kijel andu nga mol min kije nga minje je yamin fo nyawlo nyiti ko no election o nyintara la anyama bare bitu la minen kontane ni miyon kontane ndi wolo nyinti ko wo mol mi yalan ko da ye petition on safe pour kanana nanyi loi bumbato nyim mol mi sunta lu kiti o nyin kunto wonde kumo nyin kunto wonde fana yo loi kile wala ta pour kam bonde nyim fitino nyin kono so wala atina no kontano nyi warta bake parce que nyi bang Gambia di wol bele dew hani mini fango ye petition on nyin safe ayeto le fango dewle parce que imagine ibana hada men wala sida nyin kunto but imagine ko wole mistake okay in the application of the laws il faut eta ku keje mi yalan ko dala ben tol da mabulan da nyokam so bayo alama satal nana makoy fo menara toñaje adun tol be ko le douano pour ala yam makoy min be siri nyin kitiyo nyin kunto pour se Gambeje anin Gambe dingo anin Gambe tanko anin Gambe suturo yara fa wolbe Gambe loi kono andi yol apply wala dembe contande rim bake mbe ala tenturing mbe ala jayri ko fenno mi yalon ko alhamdulillah rabbil alamin contanta la bake contanta la bake nyimu fennete mi yango da ngafali ye anu ngafali le ko ning ala kititala mbinala le jande na loss of the Gambia abe vindicate la and the loss of the Gambia I am vindicate le wo mu fennete mi yalon ko da dim mon kontala la mon kontala watu so ko tek
ngajele UDP kabika petition on Supreme Court in jikibale bashirum ko
yo
what was the feeling in NPP finally after another kanyela
mi yati nan tolunga lonko nyim petition on iba baylale wala nyinti ko petition lu ni jiben tola election wallahi hanata ko lepte fon la batandila Gambia la election ko kenyami yalon inyante mi understand wala nyinti ko no tonya atondi le carte fayo kono sunyaro se keno jele bar carte fayo kono Gambia la carte fayo kono pour sunyaro ke jeto abe kole ala bakele because minon problem oti in tol political parties will be chaw mbele kataro loring MPP la moment sianteti NPP la moment sia ENRDT amansia UDP di lumina carte ka fay lumina carte ba kointila so wala atina kabrin kanana jan tolong alo no ko clearly in our minds ko ibenin case ni iba throw out la and wala katete ne parce que ngalo no ko ni ajibe luwal min yalon ko abe larim pour que petitional pour que lamoy kiti bumoto e ko le abatale and wayatina le ndol kabrin sida nkanala pour que lamoy ko so bena abe nyantol len kon nkana kal lamoy bari min kumata je wala nyutu ngani lan ko quartier man sunya tapale yaman ke jeto min bije wolom ñun dronko sonko ye boyle mo bi ka fanke president wati ala la ka mol ke nyaton koldi so ngoli man yala ta wala na kabirin kanana janto limani ata ko asu dabal nyawnya but at the end of the day we will come victorious and ala na rakol
at the start in yalla motion do bondi mi yalon ko president cannot be taken to civic or criminal court am yalon ko ay naba man siala akabo ke mo jamal ba fokan NPP fan loyal malon iba minke kan but surprisingly not all motion kilungo je nan kotenke towards all the 8 something like 8 or how many mi yalon ko not all less afi way minute tan di NPP alla loyal to ila parandro ni yankol ke nyin kiti
no yalo minute kata image say ne hakilo ko yalla inya ya jele min bije wolo nyinti ko image ye amendment o minke babali wo amendment o After MP pila lawyers nol, he reacted already to the first motion to min dundi. So kabiri nata nying amendment okay, which amendment no mi akara ani loi ani procedural manta. Kabiri yo amendment no nyinke, and hani jojo mi famesi rije malanko amendment okay because yake verbal application nol. Kabiri wo keda after MP pila lawyers nol woliye motion no nyin dundi. It only reacted. Kabiri reacted another nyinata amendment no nyinke. So in order for them to in a case nyimpuruka agino warante puru ye kumafala mi yala asalono ko e minka de mi atina winter tending for yo motion do nyimbondi nang because il a force motion reactor wato amendment no manke so ni amendment no kere wato minna iman na wo bondi ikebe case continue la won nyama then it means it otole email do ko keku so bari yele do ko nyulon imagine say minna kere ndole nga 10000 kabri ngo motion kabri ngo withdraw 10,000 yen fine one but yet all fine jele kabri nyim fonko nyikat nearly 100,000 kodi so woman you don't compensate ma so this is luala bo nyama manka koy non na loyal malo kaminke yalon ne kaminke wala ne volunteer ta pour ko motion do nyin pour ko withdraw ni o imagine kabri o withdraw they came with an agreement mi yalon ko dala wala substance data wala fanan detail ta and wala fanan yati no case nyin finally a win
bari ale nyin case nyin alfenting ali a win nyin tembolo so what next are we expecting from this
so no celebrate ala ngata celebrate gambe ndi ngo beta contano celebrate ali mbe ngata celebrate nyim manke lakra kuti nyim dunya kulati mo nimbe fata be satara je ngim bijeto bar mi important jewlon to lom bakilim fakil wolti election o kanan damali tala kut nyim dunya ko kanan damali fata ali mbe ngata ngambulo du nyobulu ni be UDP lo be ibe political party do political party do ana fatala mi important jewlon do ali ngambulo du nyobulu nga gambe je ngata nyato yawna sane ning ata ko no yeso tari wo sotade je ntem ko Adama Barrow opposition but ngajele ko no look in the middle of a fight you don't change a commander you understand ngajele ko no there is a need for us to make an alliance wala ya tinan nata because nga Gambia la je am become for individual interest je Gambia dum be kana nyoko so same mi kala wala celebration do mo be la celebration dia sol dum denoli so alkan sambana janna alien sambana ngadi amu jang na alien sambana ngadi amu jang yen samba Facebook and social media e kan nen kabiru somanda fo fanoyeke anduna musolu ndingolu ibeka wori le ko ikatale kaka diamu journalist oli kaka diamu but I cannot do it because the problem is that holding information is also something mi yakala manyinya
so imamine advice le gamelo le towards that was mojamal ba fan Gambia
UDP kolle kamoli neng itolle kamoli neng wala tina mol man hani la patila nko ntolmo Gambia no we are cultured we are religious people ibe kantol kulu nendro na sokona ni dindin na nendro ke ka teple ya lipa pour akana nendro ke ntol kulu tawla nyama mon nendro long nendro ko mol dimi bakele Gambia dingo nendro ka dimile bari yetara sirin tubabu du you feel that ko ne tay fen la long ate mom fen long tubabu du be sirin dami fond imor fond la history ni long ite mi long do wolom to clock in and clock out ite malo ifo be sirin dami fond to ba wo ite be sirin that kind of atmosphere to itara si be sirin mic nyato television on ni telephone nyato ibe mol nenna mol mi yakra ibal futudal kabirin somanda fa wularo ye dinkendol wulu wo dinkendol be tesiti kam pour Gambia bondi bata kono ite kana si kana wol neng alinga nen dro bula UDP nyante nen dolo bondi le programme kono kabirin at the beginning ikana son mol ko loy la platform tam manding quality mba mam flolti imagine that ko non to duddo ka fo kono ka fo mi yalla ngada ka si fata fan solo fo mbe kala nyadile ntol mo lon jang ndo male manja ko futu dole jolal futu dole fonkol futu jana dole tibabul futu ntol be mo ibn hadaba dim kile wallanti Gambia be bakilin fakilin alinga defeat nko election o manke dunia alakra kuti dunia kulom andum two election o be lakra finance to no wala kono but mi important je wala nyinti ko nyinen di rolu e kamin ke social media ba man na fa soto
janem be bulal e bamina yama di la president Adam Barrow na la government because right now gameno le ci ko la wala ne atamindi ko tek what advice do you have
wallahi the last 5 years do ko ketal but last 5 years at the beginning of the last 5 years the first 3 years ning sabotage le siata le fo asiata fayat na do ko nyinta speed min nyinta tala wo speed mantano min advice kan nyinin kamina be min dila say wala nyinti ko that particular team bijele that team will be beefed up iba augment la modole kafuje with other brains with bulolu tarad blalto kaso banko nita ku jaman la na security side ning na education side ning na health side ning na agriculture and other areas no we want to make Gambia industrialized and inshallah ma for 5 years wo be kala knowledge but ning ala kitita pour batal min ya lon ko dalen ka fo mano da ba kolearen tulo da ba kolearen ibna hanama dingole ne ko tulo da diandi banku doto wo brain sol be Gambia le biti dola wo brain sol be join kan heki barola timo ko dalen inshallah ano ning ala kititala min kuma ta je wo sabotage nim molbe do ko lete be political meeting on ning ko ta political meeting on lete ko mol samba ku dolla wol doli bele jankunde of course yes well, you know let's work
so ite ma mira molbe jela as a dictatorship la wala kudo
on te dictatorship tiko fodi kabiri America pare de la election fa hasabe election political be keri political man tra caring at some point alka jamulale wala but at some point we make a die down ngata do kola so that we can hold this administration accountable during next election but nimbe tara si political mbafula ainda kala tentina bayla bunko no ila so ni i manka alfati jeto idi wol ko ngakade ndi do bafula ngakade ban atitala no so mi important dawlo ni political wato so a time also ngo kel sai inshallah ha social media nyanda changes kala jedo mba regulate la na make so ko responsible journalism ye tambe nyimbanko kan na make sure social media we don't use it to our disadvantage. Let us make sure that we capitalize on the use of the social media to enrich ourselves financially and other means. You understand? And can I use against each other? And can I use to deter the progress of this country? The young people are coming and they have ideas. They want to be innovative. They want to inspire. They want to be inspired. They want to create. They want to be connected. And that is why it is the need for us to be able to make sure that we censor use of social media and we use social media responsibly.
Thank you very much. Wala mo tonya timba dingola liya jale anyino Mr. Bojang tay kumol fo kumol muliya lon koy kumaya ta baki ando nyinketa e kontan ku bati abari bide court ku keta jede waya itandle ko NPP a nyun court case ya winle so nyin tembola dal ya itandle ko ital kata munna wala ma celebration oti hani bi dam anga do so jang ni mun nyanta ka short interview so to sa intenti
albe nyaade mbakela fawani man hakan wala de kodi okay very good nde to mo papa falleti hade to lebe independent candidate we to le tamu nyin kitiot nyin
bi kitiyo nyin alata nyamen ite yemune fil bi ne be solo mo ko nyin tembola
fo kontano de katung election o ni aji be election o keta nyame carte wuli keme fula ani wuli tanin lulu Adama Barrow yowole soto men siata UDP tadi ning ayasar haning ayasara election o be kela ko de petition o be kela ning wo wuli keme fulo ito recover nola so saying men foka wala nyinti ko kitio ha mobe nyantolo UDP la nyantolo pour ka ta kitio la ka election o challenge bari loi en contente bake ka to loi tamatal banko nyin ya nga tandile ko democracy saying abambanta nyim bankun kan katum nga jibele ko president man interfere among kumafo me yalon ko kafo ko ni election o ala ni petition o ni ala fay aya loi bulale loi e tama anyanta tama la nyame so saying baydi loi kuntuta ten saying alhamdulillah saying banko sitano nyato molete la dokola nga nyina election o nyina nga tentembe banko dingol sulata men nga o dila saying nte wole en kontan nyin kuoto nyin ko nyi election o alhamdulillah landslide lam men ganyo warata nyin case fanan aya kele ko ganyo fanan warata ko
okay now mune be kala advice to the United Democratic Party the bigger opposition
ndebe men folo wala nyinti ko nyim bankun tolbele dentala ning Cairo sabatita asabatita mbele ning korobi jang korobe kupilan bele kunkan woto baydi luwa e kitio kuntu teng ntebe afola UDP kole ko ye sabari ye luwa la decision o nyinta nga deng nga banko doku sai wole kumayata dan kata ka petition o file ko deke ka banko muta ning doku nasinde
okay so next planti
sa en kanya bantal case nyim bantale sa en masakunda sa nyatili no banku do ko lale ay bang no hani celebration or what ambital hade
bari jamal le
nake ba felenti pasamba
all right, thank you very much.
abaraka
ke wala ko kumata ay tandiko sa banku do ko la tuta je instead of a celebration or atemo NPP supportalati andung ketol mo independent ol ngale tollo multimillion ko ye coalition no join in NPP andung bi kete seo ku bati bari ani election o keta kuti mu yalon ko tolla ya win nyin tembola
wax naa leen ko télé yu bari nañ waaye bokk man ku ma gis ma xam ne ko bu ngeen wax sax dama ko xam bu def max ma ne ko coach Passamba génneel max bi ñu mun a wax ak yow coach na nga def
jàmm rek di nuyu ñëpp oh thank you
looy def fii
well I'm a Gambian. I'm here to visit my country and my family so lolo mo fi indi dal si gàttal
la si code bi looy def si code
this is a historic occasion because this I believe Lo Hapun Fini enriches our democracy, enriches our jurisprudence, because these are citizens, the UDP, who have all the legal rights to do what they did. And the good thing about it, moi, nekun ci mbeda mi di xeex nekun di tëj kenn nekun di dóor kenn nekun di saaga kenn. The UDP had a problem with the elections. You know, we are going to Fombahana Neke Bena. We came here and the judges made the ruling. So now we move on. And I hope to, going forward, we'll all look at our total electoral system and make the necessary reforms that are important. That way we'll move on as a country. But this is a great thing. I don't think anybody should see it as negative. There are no winners and losers. The biggest winners in this are the Gambians, the Gambian democracy and the enrichment of our jurisprudence. Yes.
ñu gis la nga nekk koo xam ne doy farflatel lépp lu coach wax rek lu am la jamono ji yaa ngi si suñ dëkka soo doon wax ak suñ nguur loole naa advice
bari na de
waxal
waaye first thing first mooy for the president to understand and to congratulate him again for his victory which was affirmed today by the Supreme Court, to understand people have given him a mandate. And the mandate is not just for its sake, but a mandate to ensure that there is development in this country, there is unfettered respect for fundamental human and constitutional rights in this country, and he must not rest on his laurels and just believe people will love me, I'll do whatever I want. Because Gambia, we don't have time. It is a country that has underdeveloped for 56 years. It is now time for seriousness. And I hope that the president will also do what the Constitution says when he appoints cabinet and would appoint people who are competent and capable to carry out their jobs effectively, and not those that are sycophants or just people that people must not be repaid. People must be appointed to do the work of the Gambian people so that we as a people will move on. But the other advice that I have for President Barrow, one thing that we've seen, when we have developed a judiciary that is independent, at least over the past 5 years, the TRRC report is absolutely important. And the president must implement every recommendation made by the TRRC, because its implementation doesn't mean that you are sending anybody to jail. What it means is you are doing what they ask you, people will be prosecuted. Anybody who is prosecuted will be given the rights that were denied to Gambians over the past Gambia's 22 years. You'll be given a fair trial. You'll be given the right to counsel. You can defend yourself. If you are acquitted, you are a free citizen, you go about your business. If you are convicted, you pay the price that all convicts must pay. The worst mistake that President Barrow would do, and repeat, he did it with the Janneh Commission, he must not repeat it, is to cherry pick on the recommendation. Implement all recommendations without fear, favor, affection, or ill will, because that was your oath, that I would defend the Constitution of the Gambia without fear, favor, affection, or ill will. So all we are asking the president, we are not asking him to do anything that is out of the law. Implement the recommendations, let people be tried in our independent courts, and then the chips fall where may be. If you kill somebody, hey, and you are convicted, you go to jail. If you're accused of killing and you are acquitted, you go about your business. That is fairness, and that's how we can have flow. So it was Dr. King who said, the true peace is not the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice. So as a result, whatever we do, we must ensure that justice, unfettered justice, is exercised to the maximum. That will serve as a deterrent, so that a Passambaja would not come tomorrow and feel that I can kill somebody and get away with it. Those are my two advice.
ba tey rek ba léegi rek comme ni ma koy waxee rek lu xew si dëkk bi dafa bari yaa ngi wax ne président bi mu bàyyi xel ñu moo appoint nit dina ne ndax président bi dafa am ñum appoint ñoo xam ne qualifié ba tey it nekkul di def liggéey bi mu war nga mentional ñu ñoom su ko defee ñoom it ñu start di xool seen boppa di paak ndax coach tamit dafa bëgg a ut liggéey parce que ñu bari ñu ne semestre yi su ñëwee si dëkk bi ku ut liggéey la xëj na coach dafa ñëw Gambia ku Adama Barrow gis ko.
Man, I'm a Gambian citizen. I was born. And there is nothing wrong with it. But to be clear, I have no aspirations, none whatsoever, to be appointed to any office in this country. This was why after 2016 elections, when Barrow won, I was in the cabinet, and people mentioned my name. I went on Facebook Live and told the president, nobody promised me anything. Some people mentioned it. I went and said, I am not interested in being appointed to any office. And my caution to the president then was, and it's going more than do not appoint people because of based on what they did for the struggle. That's nonsense. Appoint people who are competent to carry out the job of this country. So that's what I'm saying. So do to the tour of this thing, because he has a coalition. So what I'm saying, if somebody from NRP is competent to do the job, give him the job. Because our constitution is very clear. Now the ministers appointed should be those that have the technical know-how to run those ministries. Bulgis Pasamba Jawara would also be the moment and minister. The people that will suffer will be the Gambian people. They knew amount time. They can be amount time because this country has been underdeveloped for way too long. What on your rumba fee? So this is time for serious work, and serious work can only be carried by serious and competent people.
Coach ndax si Barrow presidency bi ma tey si cabinet am dafa am ñoo xam ne maanaam nekkul ñoo xam ne ñun nit di wax la dama bëgg rek mu leer na clair su ko defee gars yi ñu defaraat seen boppam media bi is here to tell nit yi lan la gars yi nekk di def loo xam ne nekkul yoon.
Well, kuma fu loo xam ne am na yenn appointments I did not agree with.
Comme kan ak kan nen remind am na ñoo xam ne.
Let me just give you example. The current Minister of Interior. I was not happy with that appointment. I think it's Sonko. Anybody who served Jammeh, I was not happy they was appointed to serve in any cabinet position. That's not to say that they are not Gambians. But if you're coming to wrong the rights of yesterday, you cannot appoint the wrongdoers to correct the wrongs. So this is it. So it's not a matter, it's nothing personal. These are people, some people I know. We are friends, we were in the struggle. When he was appointed at the Public Service Commission, I believe that his appointment was in direct violation of the Gambian Constitution. And I said so. It was nothing personal, because to me, it's not about who I know, it's about the Gambia. So if it is something that I believe is right, I'm going to say it. But it's nothing personal. All I'm saying, Barrow has the latitude to appoint a cabinet. My thing is not only appoint people who can do the job, so that Suny Lopitani would function the way that he's supposed to function, Suny School C would function the way that he's supposed to function, everything that we do as a country would function the way that it's supposed to function. That way, his legacy would be one of development and not one of enticement. Because you appoint people that you know and they don't do the job and people suffer. And the more affect too by the person that appointed them. So Barrow wants to leave a good legacy. For that to happen, appoint people that are competent to do the job, hold them accountable. If you are accused of mismanagement of funds, you have no business serving in office. Send the person on interdiction, send the person on administrative leave, let's investigate. Because we cannot continue it's political, motivated by politics. No. We need to move seriously as a people. And for that to happen, we need to have serious, competent people so that you move forward as a country.
Gis nañ tamit li nga xam ne mooy National Assembly bi mu ngi ñëw am si am na parti si nga xam ne daanu neen bu baax a baax si election bu passé jamono ji coach ku la xam-xam ne da nga am experience du may waxantu wax dëgg rek leen fi nekkee Gambian Talents TV ma bëgg rek nga wax ak parti yooyu lan nga fa ne loolu leen war a def su ko defee daanu bu métti bi nga xam ne daanu neen ko ñu defaraat seen taxawaay.
What is at stake is the democracy of our country. What we don't want is a one-party state. And to avoid that, I am appealing to all my friends in the opposition. You know, together and form a tactical alliance, if you want to call it that. That way, we will have a National Assembly that is balanced. And the reminder that I want to give people, during the PPP dominated the House of Parliament. This was why they were able to craft the Senegambia Confederation that was not grounded on law, that was not grounded in the interest of the Gambian people. And when ended up happening? 1989, Bajawara de Mepare changed affair because there was nobody thinking in the National Assembly. Abdou said, you know what, I will teach you a lesson. Woke up one Friday and packed all his military soldiers here, including the presidential guard. 5 years down the line, there was a coup d'etat, Jawara was gone. 2002, when the UDP boycotted the National Assembly elections, it gave Jammeh a free hand to make constitutional amendments. This was where Indi changed the 50+1 in the constitution. Because anything Linga Hamne was not in his interest was taken out of the constitution. Law Hamne they can change within the parliament. And past laws Linga Hamne were not helpful to our country. So this is why it is important for the opposition parties, in the interest of democracy, it doesn't matter one party can support, to come together and find a way, put competent candidates, they will come to the National Assembly, scrutinize everything. That way, we will not have one party to dominate the executive and the legislative body, because that is a disaster and would be a setback for our democracy.
Gambians have been crying for a new constitution since Jammeh has been removed from power in 2016, but still we have not been seeing that the Constitutional Review Commission came, but that thing was never gone into implementation, or it has never happened again. Again, Gambians are still calling for a new constitution. What advice do you have for the government towards that?
Well, I was one of those who was very critical of President Barrow because I believe President Barrow single-handedly sabotaged the CRC, the Constitutional Review Commission. Because what President Barrow did was he put his interest ahead of the interest of the Gambian people. Because everything that Barrow complained about is, I cannot, the term limit cannot be retroactive. So Barrow was not looking at anything else but Barrow. So, Mr. President, you've promised us, and we're going to hold you to this promise, that we'll have a new constitution, that there will be term limits, that there will be the absolute majority. But we need a constitution that is fit for purpose. And for that to happen, we need Barrow to have the political will to make that a reality. And you see, leaders who sacrifice are remembered as heroes. George Washington, the first president of the United States, upon his election as president, there were people who wanted to crown him king. He said no. It was very convenient at that time to be a king. He said no. Actually, America did not even have term limits until around the 1950s. Because what Washington did was, after serving 2 terms, he stepped down, and it became a tradition in that country. And it was one president, I think it was Roosevelt, who stayed for 3 terms or 4 terms. Then later they decided to add it in the constitution so that it became a term limit. It became a constitutional requirement. So today he's celebrated. When Nelson Mandela served 1 term and decided, you know what, that's enough, I'm sitting down, that's why he's respected. So, Mr. President, do not be driven by the desire and the entrappings of power. Be a changer for a better Gambia, so that you will be remembered for the president who did not overstay his welcome. Jawara overstayed his welcome, ended in exile. Jammeh ended overstayed his welcome, ended in exile. We want President Barrow to be the difference by ensuring that he will serve no more than 2 terms, give us a constitution that will guarantee 2 terms, a constitution that will guarantee absolute majority, a constitution that will respect the rights of diaspora Gambians to participate fully in the political process of our country, because I'm not beating my chest, we contribute close to anywhere between 48 to 55% of GDP. As we speak now, the amount of money that is flowing in this country because of Gambians abroad is much more than, in fact, what we've done is save this country from a serious economic disaster because of the tourism is dead, because of COVID. But we're here.
We are spending money. And by the time we are gone, we are not here to do all exclusive, all inclusive or whatever. No, we are going to our homes. We are building houses. We are providing employment. We are helping people. We are doing everything. Every money that we bring with us, $3, $4, $5, $10,000 is going to be left here. We go back home with our $10 and go back to our hours. We do that because we love this country. So there is no reason why we should not be allowed to participate. And to those that say, oh, diaspora problem, listen, who are the diasporans? The same blood that runs in you runs in me. I'm a Gambian. I was born here. I'm your brother. We are your brothers, your sisters, your uncles, your aunts. We are Gambians. The only reason why we left this country is to go for greener pastures. And what we will do when it's greener, we come back here to invest here. So we are as Gambians and as anybody else. So I hope we'll all continue to hold this government to
what advice do you have for the social media warriors that are always there to insult or to poison people's mind when it comes to violence? And
well, one thing that I've always said is I don't think there is anybody who can instill violence in this country. Gambians are very, very peaceful people. I've always said that whenever you see Gambian, you go at a crowd so that it will not last 2 seconds. So yes, in every country or society, you will have what they call agent provocateurs, but they constitute the minority in this country. So my advice is not to the minority that insults. My concern is not the minority that try to instigate, but to the majority of the Gambians to understand that we are one people, one nation, and one country. Nothing can change that. Every one of us is related to the next. We talk about this tribe thing. There is no pure Mandinka or pure Wolof. And what I mean by that is there is no Mandinka or Wolof or Fula who does not have a relative of another tribe. Whether a niece, whether a brother-in-law, whether a nephew, and all that. So all that is important is for all of us to be bound by this creed that we are Gambians. Nothing else can divide us. And before you know how great a Gambian is, or being a Gambian is, you travel out of this country.
Before I leave you, Mr. Samba, we have
Mr. Jau.
Mr. Jau,
yes.
We have seen the Jana Commission have never been implemented just as how everyone expected. Here is the TRRC again. The recommendation has already been published. Implementation is what Gambians are waiting. What is at stake towards President Barrow's government, towards this TRRC?
Well, what is at stake is everything. Because you see, the Nazis, the Second World War was from 1939 to 1945. You know, they are still prosecuting people who participate in that. Some people will be 90-something years old, they are discovered, they will be prosecuted. Laws are meant to be followed. That's why this country is a country of laws and not of men. So what is at stake is justice. What is at stake is democracy. What is at stake is the future and stability of this country. If we start just letting people go, this masla, you are encouraging that there should be a deterrent to anybody coming to power and believing that they have the unfettered right to abuse others. So all we are saying here is these courts have proven to be independent. Go to the courts. Let them determine whether anybody who is accused by the TRRC is guilty or not. And that's it. That's all we are asking for. We're not asking for Barrow to hold a stick, beat anybody. We're not asking him to do anything, but do what the Gambian people expected. This is why we funded the TRRC. People came and testified. It was for a reason. It was not just to be put in a paper and just placed somewhere else. No. We need action and we need to see it happen. And for that to happen, President Barrow must have the political will, and the citizens must not also rest on our laurels and just allow him to do whatever he wants. TRRC recommendation must be implemented to the fullest, irrespective of who becomes a victim of their own crimes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.